All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick off because we are a few minutes late already. But hi, everyone. Welcome to our very first weekly call for the X Your Listings Challenge. I am really, really excited to have each and every one of you into this, and it is going to be a transformative journey. I know it over the coming weeks. Right now, it is your kind of lull period. And so while it's an interesting time to actually start a challenge like this, I actually think it's the perfect time to start a challenge like this because it is the end of the year. It's a little quieter. It's the time and space for you to kind of stop and think about what you're going to do with your business next year. And that is what this is all about. This challenge is all about creating more listings by actually filling your pipeline consistently throughout the entire year. So it's a really ambitious goal of Xing your listings, but we plan to really focus on delivering a very, very healthy pipeline so that you can close those deals and have your best year ever. More importantly, this is really about kind of coming together and collaborating as a group. There is a very small group of you here because we are really piloting this and we are testing this in different markets, but want to make sure that everyone is kind of working together and helping each other. So when you come into the community, which you should now have access to, this is the very new KW community for marketing. It was one of the first communities. If you don't have access, just check your email again and we can always resend it to you. But when you come into that community, you will only see the alpha users in this, which is basically even before a beta, it is the hand selected few of you that are going to be in here with this challenge. And then over the coming weeks, you will start to see more people trickle into this membership community from all over KW. And we really think it's going to make a massive impact. And so you guys will be these early adopters who tried something amazing. And we know it's really going to take off. So I'm going to kick it off to Stacy to just give you a background of where this kind of came from. You may have watched some of the videos, but for those of you who didn't have time, because I know this is holiday weeks and it's getting very busy. So she'll just kind of recap that. And that's actually what we're going to do on a lot of this call today is recapping what we wanted you to work on last week. If you didn't work on it, you'll catch up this week. And then we'll talk about what the goal is for this week as well. All right, Stacey, it's you.
Thanks, Lena. Okay. Thank you for having me here. Thank you guys for being here. I just want to echo what Selena said and tell you that this is an awesome opportunity because for most agents across the country, this is typically when they lean out. So for those of us who are deciding to lean in, this is where we get our unfair share, our market advantage. And I have been doing this, but not using the tools that we are now have because of Selena and the marketing and Agentmoves. I have been doing it, and it's typically this time of year that I do start to fill my pipeline. I tend to get anxious about my business, so that makes me do more lead generation. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. The thing that I think is so important that we all embrace is not just doing it, but embracing how AI will superpower all of our efforts. And I can tell you, I do think that it is literally impossible for somebody to succeed without having that AI mindset. It can feel a little uncomfortable, but it's one of those things. It's a game changer. And I think for all of us who are willing to invest in our businesses and invest in the success of our teams, if you happen to have a team as well, there's no other way to be successful in the lead generation business without smartly using the AI technology. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about for teaching and embracing inside of this community.
All right, great. Okay, so let's just kind of start off with what you can expect. I will show you around some of the assets that have been sent to you, and really just take you through it, assuming that you kind of browsed around but could have easily missed something because there's a ton of content now available to you. So we're just going to start by going through those items. So let me share my screen here if I can do that on this stream. Let's see. Right. So this is the 10x your listing page. You can actually find this now within Agentmoves. If you are a part of the challenge, you will see this. If anyone is trickled in and is not necessarily a part of the challenge, you will not see the link. But the link is just called 10x your listings. And this is basically our portal for everything you're going to need to know. Most importantly, it has the roadmap. This is what we're going to be going through pretty intensively over the next 8 to 10 weeks. And I would say that the first couple of weeks, aside from holiday week, is pretty intense. And then it starts to build into what we're going to create consistency over through the remainder of the year. So while there is this heavy sprint and push in the beginning, right, in these first 8 to 10 weeks, after that, you will have your pipeline, but there will be some consistent activities that you are going to continue to do over the course of 12 months because we know consistency rules. It is the name of the game. So here is the roadmap. You can click on that and basically go into any of the weeks. Our last week was week 1, which I will go through in this power hour, and then we will kind of kick off what week 2 looks like, which is this week, and what you guys need to do to stay on track. What you will also see on this page is there's just some information about this, but what I want you to go through is the strategy playbook. So there are about a dozen strategies on here. Now, where do these come from? What are they all about? Basically, we have taken kind of everything that we have seen as successful in 2025, very specifically in terms of a strategy to generate listings. We have taken those, we have vetted them, we have really kept it very KW focused, but we have looked beyond KW to make sure that these are strategies that are working across different markets. And we have basically put them into this page here, which names all of them. There probably could be some that you are thinking, hey, why isn't this on here? I hear people using Pinterest now. Why aren't we doing that? If it is not on here, it is because either A, we didn't see it, so send it our way and we'll vet it. But B, we looked at it and we couldn't find it as verifiable or proven across many cases for us to try it here, and we didn't want to put it in front of you if it didn't look like it was marketing sound or proven. So we didn't put it on here. Everything else you will basically see here. Everything from farming to expired to getting paid seller leads to circle prospecting to cross promoting with your vendors, doing local seminars. Everything is basically a part of this. What's actually expected of you guys is that you conquer these 4 big ones. These 4 big ones are based on all the research that we have done and spent literally, hundreds and hundreds of hours investigating all of these different channels. We have picked the 4 that we think are going to have the most impact in 2026. And I shouldn't even say that we think will have the most impact. It actually will have the most impact. Based on all the data that we have seen, this is what is going to move the needle for your business. So these are what we're calling the non-negotiables. And I will go through these. And then these are actually additional ones. Now, we're not saying just do these 4 and nothing else. We are recommending that you pick 1 to 2 from these strategy buckets, which are essentially going to be that extra nudge that you're going to need to actually 10x your pipeline, which is a really, really audacious goal. So, what I would urge you guys to do is to start going through the strategies and learning. When you go into each strategy, it is actually going to give you a set of videos from, people you've probably heard of. And of course, from the MREA podcast, right? It's going to actually give you that video of where the strategy comes from. It is going to give you a summary of that strategy. Now, sometimes in some cases, there are multiple strategies that we are looking at and we have investigated. I'll give you another example. Let's actually go back to strategies. Let me give you another example that uses a few different strategies. Here's one. The geographic farming. We found 4 different strategies related to geographic farming that people are claiming will work. Now, there's a lot of consistencies between them. So we have actually honed in on what is consistent and then literally built out the plan to make this work in your market. So you will see the summaries, there's clip notes of everything, and then how we would make it work. So it may be different than what they're suggesting. And that is just based on us speaking to different agents and trying to get a sense of why it may have worked in their market and if we think it's going to work in other markets. So my example of that is I'm going to go into the golden letter. So the golden letter is a KW concept to send out a letter that is basically asking if you want to sell your home. Now, the concept of the golden letter has one simple question: would you sell your house at 123 Main Street to a client of mine? If so, give me a call. Now, after speaking to not only this agent, but many other agents, we discovered that there was a big reason why agents aren't actually doing this. And the reason is that for them, it didn't feel either aligned to their luxury market, or B, it didn't feel like it was coming from contribution. It felt much too aggressive or transactional for their market and not how they wanted to represent themselves. So hearing that feedback, we edited the approach. We call it the platinum letter. And it is still asking the very same question, but it is coming from contribution, and it has altered that approach to feel more aligned to what agents were telling us was their issue with doing something like this. So it's still a MOFR, but it is coming from a kind of different standpoint. Now, you can always do it exactly the way that it is done in the strategy and listen to obviously the podcast. You can download their PDF, which is the growth model from the MREA, and do it exactly like that, or you can use ours, and we are okay with doing it either way. So here's where Agentmoves comes in. We will actually make this as simple and scalable as possible for you. So in this exact example, we're going to actually be able to show you how we will do this, how we are going to make sure that you not only have the templates to be able to use, but that it's integrated to your CRM so that the moment you add a contact to this, literally the golden letter goes out. So we'll make all of this as easy and simple as possible by using automation, marketing automation to make it happen. But there will be some things that you will need to do yourself. So let's talk about that. So we have a couple of things that we think are super important for you guys. One of those things is actually to call into your database. I hear it all the time, and I actually hear it from Stacy, and I'm going to put you on the spot, Stacy, but never having time to actually call into their database. There's a lot that AI can do, definitely a lot that AI can take off your plate and give you leverage for. However, when it comes to having a real conversation with people in your database and continuing to build those relationships, nothing beats you.
Yeah, it's 100% true. Nothing beats you. And what you've provided for us are very simple scripts that come from contribution. So, yeah, so I think that that makes it really easy and important. And if none of those things resonate, it's just a contact, it's a touch base, it's a how you doing. I'll give you an example. I did it with somebody today because I am time blocking for it for my 10x my listings. And basically it was somebody who had already who sold a house, and they were not interested in selling, but as I continued the conversation, they have a child who is living in my area who will want to be selling in the next year. So instead of so it's I would never have gotten that far unless I had picked up the phone and also had not just hung up when I found out that they had already sold a house. I kept going, and so that's a listing lead that I got just from doing those time blocks and making those calls.
So that's one of the non-negotiables in this strategy. You will hear literally an approach that Gene uses to do this. His is 2 hours a day. It's a lot more than what we are saying to do, and it is very regimented on exactly how to do it. But it's really informative in terms of how he actually does it, which is pretty simple. He basically starts with, "Is there anyone's birthday in my database? I'm just going to call them," because that's an easy place to be like, "Hey, just calling to say happy birthday." Of course, you guys know that we send out birthday messages automatically in Agent Moves. Again, does not beat you actually calling. So we give you a couple of things, just a way to make it consistent and do it. We give you some openers that you can use. We're talking about the end of the year. Do you have any plans for your home in 2026? That's a perfect thing to ask. Or I've got resources. Do you need any resources? Are you planning anything in the new year? And how can I help with that? And then there are also some little extra things that you will hear actually Jean talk about in this video. But one of them was something like, I completely forgot. I love to know more people like you. And this is what he says at the end of a conversation. I like to know more people like you. Who do you know that I should know that I should be talking to that may be a good resource for them in the real estate world, right? Something really simple like that. But it gives you an approach to how to do that. So you can download his model and kind of learn how to do it. But your first thing to do is to just time block it,
It
right?
is
Is
a
to create
time
time in your calendar.
It's time blocking it, Selena. I think it's also the 3 things you have on the bottom of the page there, which is these are just 3 different things that we're doing: clothing drive, vendor directory, or the SOI check-in. So you have something to offer. Always you have something to offer that comes from contribution, and you all can't be afraid of asking for business. I have been to a lot of family reunions and listened to a lot of people, and the one thing I hear consistently is if you're afraid to ask for business, you're in the wrong business. So you can't be afraid to ask for business.
All right. The second, like, non-negotiable is creating video. A lot of you or all of you actually already do a monthly market video. Now, the monthly market video that we have been doing has helped to keep you guys consistent, which is amazing. I bet most of you will say that it's more consistent than you've ever been. That's great, but we wanted to level up. So, what we did is we did a ton of research, literally hundreds and hundreds of profiles we studied to figure out what was exactly working when it came to giving market insights. And then how can we use AI tools to make that even better? And that's exactly what we did with the updated version of this. So here is my video on how to do it. This is just some context from Matt London, who does a lot of videos and just how he used it to grow his business. So it can give you some context. But this is how we are suggesting that that everybody do it. And what it starts with is data, right? So you guys are used to either going to your MLS or you are using RPR, right, to collect your data. This approach uses an LLM called Manus. Manus is really great for market research. You may have been using something similar, which is Perplexity. I have found that Manus works amazingly when it comes to accuracy of information and its ability to grab the information if you give it to the right prompt. So I give you the prompt to use. We actually have an entire prompt library, which you can also find a link for in Agent Moves. That's the first prompt that you will do is get me the information for the last month. The next prompt actually has it creating a few different things for you. One, it creates your script. It's the core talking points and how to talk through them. It creates the your reels, right? The information for your reels that you can use for Instagram or Facebook. And then really most importantly is it actually gives you a slide outline for a deck. Now, how we're using that is rather than you creating your own deck, we are actually using Gamma, and all of these are free accounts. We're using Gamma to create your slide decks. So Gamma has been around for actually quite a few years, even prior to all of ChatGPT coming out. So I think I've been on it for over 5 years. I've done every one of my presentations through that. It makes it simple and fast. And in the last, I would say 18 months, it has literally changed the game. It is phenomenal for what it can do. And so we are using it as a first step for your monthly market updates. And so you can use that to create your slide deck that not only can we actually send out to your database, right? But we can also use that slide deck that you are presenting against. So you are really positioned as the market expert. You don't forget a lot of your talking points because it's on the screen and it makes it easy. And then once you deliver that to us, we're still going through the same process of posting it, creating your blog, and sending it out to your database. Your extra piece of content essentially is the information that it's giving you for a carousel post that you can actually create within Gamma as well. And then you can post that through the Agentmoves social planner, which I would recommend you use and post across everything that you have integrated. When it comes to posting, if you've got it integrated and you have an account, post it through social planner in Agentmoves because it will go out everywhere. That is the core process. Let me tell you a couple of things that are different aside from how we are doing it. In terms of the outcome, you're going to get a very different outcome. And that is because number one, we are focused on a very specific area. Many of you like to focus on broader areas, and we've been very lenient to say, sure, go if you want to go after those four areas. Now that helped you get consistent, understand your data, and you practiced those quite a few times this year, right? But now it is undeniable that when you go city specific, you will get like 10x your results. That is just the way it works. So we are saying go deep. If you want to still do your other video because it's for your database and you feel that's more meaningful, fine. But doing a city specific one is imperative.
I do 2 videos. I do city specific, and then I have a wider one, as Selena said, and then I have a narrower one.
And then the second thing that this is actually doing is it is actually the way that the prompts are structured is it's not only giving you the data you need for this in the market research, but it's scripting it in a way that is highly optimized for two things: search, which also includes social, and AI. Most people find everything online either through AI, right? Like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gamma, Gemini, right? Or they're finding it and and I would say, or they're finding it on search, which also now shares your social posts on. That is new as of the middle of this year. Instagram posts are getting indexed by Google. That means that wherever you are posting, if you're using the right information and it has the right research behind it, right, where we know it is what is actually trending and what is working, that is actually going to give you a better likelihood of being recommended by AI, appearing on Google, being more shared across social. It has a tremendous impact if you're doing this in the right way. So that is why we changed up this process. And so for your next video, if you didn't do it for this video, I would encourage you to do it at the beginning of the year for your next video. You will have to do it still after the month. And I am still recommending between the 8th and the 10th because AI and this prompt, Manus, will be able to find the results more easily for the previous month if you wait a couple of days in. And if you have any questions, you can just keep asking in the chat. Okay. All right. So that is the market update. And then just going back to this, the other two things is your MOFR campaign. We are still recommending that you do this. It is really, really important that you do the MOFR campaign. And the strategy is here. You guys already know of it. Most of you are already doing it. So keep that up and keep it going for the whole quarter. You're going to need it. The last piece is the YouTube content strategy. Essentially, it is very similar to how we are doing the market update, but it basically is doing it on content that we're recommending. So got a question for December, assuming we should stick to the old form since you submit your monthly market video once, video, Canva pick, etc. You still use the old form, just send us your actual PDF. We are going to embed it into the email. So if you could just send that to us for now, the team is actually working on updating all of the forms to be able to collect that extra PDF. You can still submit the Canva image can still go into your email if you want. Otherwise, we just use your video and the link to download the entire PDF that you created. Great question. Okay. So YouTube content strategy, there's basically 3 pillars to the content strategy. And I actually got some really great questions from one of our agents prior to this call about this. So I'm going to bring those up. But there are 3 pillars essentially. One is omnichannel. you probably already know this. If you know me at all, you know that I'm never going to make you create content that we're not going to use in as many ways as possible. So when you create your long form content, which we are saying to do your monthly market update, but and some, when you do that, still creating 3 short form videos from that, a a blog article from that, and then actually a weekly email blast that has all of the videos that you have created. That is what is the maximized approach that keeps it super efficient. We're saying to do video 2 times per week. All the research that we did, literally hundreds and hundreds of profiles of some of the best agents on YouTube, it was undeniable that the best thing for you to do is at least 2. It almost, if you were doing 1 a week and then you do 2 a week, it literally 4x multiplier on your results if you're able to do that. So it has a dramatic effect just adding that extra video and then being consistent about it. So definitely minimum of 2. If you can do 3, and I have some agents on this call who are going to be tackling more than 2, which I think is phenomenal. So if you can do 3, if you can do 4, great. 2 is just minimum, right? The strategy and approach really works with 2. All right. And then the third pillar is what metrics we're looking at. So how we've kind of done this is we wanted to make sure that it was fully optimized, right? It kind of goes into being omni-channel for doing all these things, and we're syndicating it everywhere where we need to syndicate it. We want to make sure that it's actually being seen. Now, I get asked this question all the time, but hey, I only get 20 views on my market updates or on my videos. Is that good? How do I get more? So first of all, if you're getting 20 based on what we're doing, I think that is pretty good because it's about quality. It's not necessarily about quantity. But that said, if you're not consistent on YouTube, you're not going to increase your views. If you're not actually more holistic about the content that you're creating, you're not going to increase your views. And number 3, the most important thing you can do is, are those views generating leads? So that's where this comes in. The 4 most important metrics that matter on YouTube are CTR, retention, views, and leads. Your CTR is what people decide on if they're going to click on your video and watch it. And believe it or not, your thumbnail has everything to do with that. 2, retention. Retention is just, are you able to keep them watching the video? That's how long did they watch your video for? You do that with your hook. That's the biggest thing, right? You say your hook in the first 10 seconds. That is what keeps them holding on. But there's one slight nuance to this. After you have your hook, we have a little intro call to action, which some of you guys have seen, which just basically says, hey, it's okay for you to reach out to me. I get lots of people reaching out to me. Give me a call. My link is down below, right? That's one simple change. The other one is that after that is you give them a reason to keep watching till the end. So what we have given you is, when you'll actually see, we've given you some prompts to use to create this. And I'm going to get to that in a second, but those prompts will actually make sure that this is scripted in the right way. So when you do your video, the first 10 seconds will be the hook. The next 10 seconds will be that intro call to action. And then the last, right, the next 10 seconds after that, so still within 1 minute, you are going to have that extra piece of information that will actually get them to stay till the end. And it will give you what to say to hook them till the end. So that is actually in the prompt. So retention is super important. Views are just making sure it's optimized. And we have prompts that are going to make sure that you have the right information in your title, in your description, in your tags, in everything that you use to be highly searchable. Okay. And last is actually getting leads from it. So, of course, important things are just how that description is structured to include your lead magnets and things like that. But that early call to action actually gives people permission to call you. Stacy, I think you had a really good, uh, you had mentioned something very specific about getting people to call you early in the video. Um, and I think that would be relevant for you to bring up. Do you remember what that was?
No. I
You
think
said you have to give people permission.
I see. Yeah, I think that when most people, they want to, first of all, you have to tell them that you do it, but also a lot of people are looking for direction. I mean, so again, just from my being in this business for as long as I've been and listening to a lot of other experts speak, when you tell somebody what to do, they like it. They don't know what to do unless you tell them. So if you say to them, I help a lot of people just like you, all you need to do is call this number and I will help you as well. You're telling them what to do. People like to be told what to do, interestingly. And we think that it's being aggressive, but it's actually it calms them because they are confused and overwhelmed. And when you tell them what the next step is, even if you're that's when they're like, oh, okay, that's what I'll do. It just makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. All right. So I will answer. There's a couple of questions that we're getting, and also, I did get this set of questions from another agent that I thought was perfect, and I want to bring up every single one of those here. And I'll actually get to it in just a second. But overall, your video is going to answer what to record, or what we're creating here, I should say, is going to answer what to record, what to say, and how you're going to rank for it. So here's essentially the method that we're going to start with in terms of what content you're actually creating. So there's a prompt that you're going to use. The prompt starts with research. We always start with research. And the prompt is actually, um, we recommending using Manus when you do this, but it actually has this 12-week seller leads, right? This is actually the prompt, and it starts with just creating that. So you're going to create that data so that you actually have investigated what's actually happening, and then you will kind of know based on that and your seller research that you already created, right? That we created and sent to you, that seller research is used in this prompt, and it's going to create you literally a roadmap, a content plan to make sure it works. We've tried these prompts thousands of times just to make sure that it's exactly right for you. We've tried it on different markets. We've literally, I mean, I can't even tell you how much our team has tested every single component of this to make sure it's exactly what is needed so that you have honestly the proven method that is going to work well, right? And it's all geared towards your own market. That's the beauty here, right? It's not like, I'm a coach and saying one size fits all, just use this and it will work in every market. I'm not saying that. Actually, I'm saying the opposite. It won't. You have to use what is going to work in your market. And that's why that research is so important. So you're going to put in that prompt and it's going to give you a content plan, right? And it's done in CSV. So you could just literally create, you're going to use that, pop it into a Google sheet, and you will have your plan of what to create every single week. Okay. There's some extra things in here that you can analyze your competitors' channels. You can analyze your own channel to figure out what's the best time I should post. That was one of the questions from the agent. When do we post these videos? And who posts these videos? Are you going to post them? Are we going to post them? Who's going to do that? So first of all, in terms of when you should post your videos, it's going to be 2 to 3 times a week. And in terms of the days of the week, you want to use this prompt, put in your own channel if you've already been creating content, or a channel to an agent that you think is similar in your market that you're like, hey, they do a great job. Put it in there. You're going to put it into that prompt. That prompt is going to scan that and tell you the best times for you to post your videos, the best days and times for you to post your videos. That's how you're going to know when. Now, who is going to do it? You are going to do it. We're going to help you in a few ways, though. So, one, we're going to create your SEO optimized blog from this. Okay. So if you give us your content plan, that literally that 2x, 3x, whatever you're creating, if you give that to us, we will create your blog articles. They will be scheduled automatically and you will see them and they will get posted on the dates that you give us. That way we know what schedule you're on, you know what schedule we are on. So that will get done for you. The email outreach, we will go ahead and do that every single week. It will get sent out to your database with the 2 videos that you actually created, and the blog post will be in there. And then in terms of like posting it to YouTube, posting your reels, all of that, you're going to use the social planner. That's going to be your easiest way to post it because it's super fast. Now, everyone keeps asking me like, what, it's not professional. I need to send it to my video editor. No, you actually don't. So one of the things that we're finding is that because AI is so prominent right now and people are creating all these videos that are somewhat fake, right? Because they have that literally an AI agent is on it, right? And they're using their Cameo and they're creating all these things that it's actually causing people to wonder what is real and what's not. So when it comes to your videos, actually in 2026, the videos that are going to stand out more are going to be the ones that are real, raw, authentic. So the only thing you really need to edit with your video is going to be if you had maybe a blooper you want to take out, you want to add on subtitles, you can AI take out the noise, right? Make it super easy. I actually even created
Yeah.
this page. This page right here gives you all the gear you need. And there's also a tool that you can use, which is called Opus Clips, that you just literally load your YouTube video, it'll get you your clips. It's like 4 seconds and you can get all the clips that you need and they're perfectly done for Instagram. Sorry, Stacey.
No, I was gonna just say, like, it because I did a separate video on Sora for us, and I was answering that question too, and it's so important that you're very real in these videos, and I think, like, there's a lot you can be doing with your face and your hand motions and the tone of your voice, and I always try I tell I tell myself to pretend I'm just talking to somebody, like, even if you have to cut out a picture and, like, put it on the top of your computer, because that's what this is. It's just you having a one-on-one conversation and smiling and making those gestures and the tones. And I'm very animated, so I do a lot of that. So I think it's just super important you guys get comfortable and just pretend you're talking to one person and make sure it's really authentic.
So this basically this prompt that you're going to get when you and again this is available in Agent Moves in the prompt library. And everything is basically listed right here. I'm going to go right into YouTube. It is this prompt. It's for seller leads. Now it's kind of a continuation. So first what it does is it's telling you to attach that market research that we sent you. You're going to put in this prompt, right? And you can use Claude, ChatGPT, whatever you use. If you do have a branded GPT that Agent Moves has created for you, then use that because that's going to speak in your own voice a lot better. You will paste this prompt and you can just hit copy up here and you can paste the prompt. Then once it gives you that CSV with all of the content, you can actually use this same prompt to copy this follow-up one to create you the script for one of the videos in there. And this won't necessarily give you the exact script because we are intentionally not giving you the exact script. It's going to give you talking points. And it's going to give you the most important talking points. It's also going to logically order those talking points, making sure one of your best points is at the end of the video, because that's going to be our hook to keep them longer in the video. So it will give you all of that, right? It's going to tell you where the hook needs to go, your early call to action, right? Viewer retention tease. That's the add a sentence that hints at the last best talking point, right? So it's going to give you all of it the way you need. And you just need to put in this right into each one. So you'll basically put the video title, right? And you can even, if you're using a new chat prompt, because let's say you're 3 weeks in and you don't have the same prompt, whatever, right? You can actually just attach your CSV file and say, for this video title, right? Create me this, right? It's very simple. So it's going to give you the video script that you need for each and every single one of these. And as I mentioned back on where did I put it? Oh, right back here. You're going to be able to find any sort of setup information that you need. If you're looking for additional gear or you want to know how to set things up, what we're recommending or what we're seeing most agents are having success with. Stacey and I personally use Lumina. It tends to be really good for a camera and this USB microphone as well, which is a Yeti. If you want to do it from your iPhone, at the bare minimum, do it from your iPhone. It's totally fine. iPhones have amazing cameras now. So there's a couple of things that you can use to make that better, including a very inexpensive but great wireless mic and the selfie monitor. The selfie monitor is because when you are on your phone, the best way to record video is actually it turned around facing you, but that means you can't see yourself. So this selfie monitor basically attaches to the back of your phone so you can actually see yourself as
And
you're
then I
doing.
think the new phones have a better front facing camera, if anybody. I think that.
That all yeah, all of them do. It's always better to record from that way, so that's why the selfie monitor can help you as you're kind of looking at yourself, because when you turn the camera, otherwise you can't see yourself. And then if you really want to go crazy, here are some of the good ones to use. You can do that too. The Osmos Pocket 3 is the best one when you're on the go, and that's what we would recommend doing if you're doing any additional things that are in your neighborhood, in a house, or community tour, anything like that. You can use that. All right, so that's the video strategy. Those are essentially the 4 core ones. If you want to go into any more detail, obviously just go into the strategy and then continue to ask questions. as you go. I love the questions. I think you guys ask great questions. So definitely do. If there's anything I missed that anyone asked, please ask it in the chat. If you want me to bring it up, I can bring it up. Okay. So your goal then for this week is to create that content plan. Okay. I'm actually going to go back to the roadmap here. So week 1, we talked about your new market research, time blocking your calendar and doing your monthly video. Week 2, right? Now you've got this is where we are right now, right? You want to make sure that you have your start actually calling, right? Even if you can only dedicate 15 minutes starting in the holiday, just start. Have a place to start and then start blocking an hour after the holiday. Vote for campaign. If you haven't started this yet, we will start it after. If you are any of the agents who didn't start, we're not going to start it during the holiday. We will start it afterwards. Most of you already have yours going right now, so that will keep going. And then you want to do the YouTube strategy where you create your plan, right? So you just want to have that plan. You can send us that plan. That way you can start creating video content as soon as possible. While it's the holiday time, it's a good time to lock yourself in a room and produce a lot of content all at once. And then you want to look through and pick out some of the other strategies. So here is the list of the ones that if you are considering them, you should start looking at now, because there are some things that would require you to get moving on. So for example, if you are going to do an event, start thinking about it now, what event you would do, because in week 2, you actually decide on that. You need to get a sponsor for that. You need to confirm the date. And those are all in the roadmap items. So you can kind of go through and decide on what things you think will be good for your market. If you need a suggestion, that's what I'm here for. Let me know, and I can give you a suggestion of what I think you should pick in your particular market. All right. So on the last 5 minutes of this, so I think we can get through it all. So now, what are the other requirements? Are really just about being in Agentmoves. So there's really only a couple of things you need to worry about when it comes to Agentmoves. One of them is to have conversations, right? To be looking in your inbox, keeping your inbox clean. Our team is going to help you do this as much as possible, but whatever you can, go through your inbox and actually like clear it out. Make sure your unread is like clear each day, right? That means you've focused on what you need to. If you're having issues with spam or, you know, you're getting too many calls about something you don't like, whatever it is, let us help you. We will figure out how to reduce that so you have less noise and you're focused on what matters. The next thing to be doing is actually booking your listing appointments in Agentmoves. We haven't been really strict about that before because you're getting used to it. Everyone has their own method or they like Google or whatever it is. But if you integrate your Google Calendar here, you want to set up your listings here so that we can track them. That's going to help us note as we're going through the year, like where your pipeline is affected, what's the issue, when it may be happening, how it's aligned to the content you're creating. We can only tell that if you're actually tracking it. So you're going to book your appointments in there and then you're going to book your wins. Now, the way that you book your wins, so appointments, you just go into calendar and you will have your calendar options, right? You can actually go into settings if you're not sure what your different options are, but you can go into there. You probably have one called listing appointment. Some of you have one that's called in-person appointment. You can use that one. That's how you book it. And you just go to new, and we have our help library that tells you exactly how to book your appointments. Okay. So that's the booking of appointments. For actually winning an opportunity, you're going to go into opportunities and make sure you're in your sale, and you're going to take any of your booked appointments. So let's say you had a booked appointment here and you closed on that listing appointment. They signed the listing agreement. You're going to either drag it down here to 1, okay, which would then get rid of it, or you can just click on the card and hit status as 1. Okay. Again, we need to get a sense of that, right? The only way for us to understand your pipeline progression and how this is working, and this is a pipeline challenge, right? So the only way for us to understand what is working and what's not is if you track these two things. We're not saying track hundreds of things. We're saying track a leading metric and a lagging metric. Your lagging metric is obviously what takes longer, right? Your leading metric is what you could track all the time. So that's why we're saying appointments and if you won them. Okay. So I think that covers us. Through I think that covers us through everything. Um, And you should have received a notification to get into the KW community, which looks like this. Okay. You should have had that notification. If you didn't get it, let me know. We will resend it to you. You guys are in the alpha. Um, there's only a few agents in the alpha, literally a few. It's like a handful of agents in the alpha. Come first week, I guess the end of the first week in January, it will go into beta. So there'll be some more agents, but mostly these are agents that they're all top agents. They've been seen on, the MREA podcast, things like that. They will be coming into the community. And then at Family Reunion, we launched the full, which then you'll see a lot more agents in here. But you guys have the kind of first look. But what I would ask of you is to give us feedback. So anytime that you're confused on how to use something or you're not sure where to ask questions or what to do, ask us. Please, we will try to make it as easy as possible for you. But we basically created these different channels. Think about it like a Facebook group, but more sophisticated. So you've got all these different channels of whatever you want to ask in any of these. Our events and weekly events are scheduled in here. So if you need to add them to your calendar, you can click on it and add it. Stacy has a little intro video here where she talks about the community. And then we also have this learning tab. Now, this one's pretty cool. You guys are in the listings challenge, so you probably won't have as much time to do this. However, it has a bunch of cool GPT coaches that we created. There's training in here. There's training on essentially how to create your marketing strategy for the year, which you're already doing. How to master Facebook. We also have a Sora course that's coming in here, how to use Sora effectively. We have TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're going to have tons and tons of trainings here. So we will have that. And then the recording link for this video, I see that question. Thank you for asking. Yes, the recording for this will be sent out to you guys after. So you will have that. And we will also, actually, we're just going to post everything directly in here. So you'll have the links to them. Okay. All right. Any more questions anyone excited? Anyone nervous? Okay, good. Excited. Good. All right, good. I can hear your excitement. Woo. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you guys for doing this. And I am 100% sure this will make you guys successful in the new year. There's no better time to be doing this. And I'm so appreciative that you guys have faith in us to help you do this. And again, if you guys have questions, anything else, or ideas, right? Anything that you're like, hey, I saw this and I don't see this on the list and I was thinking of trying it, send it my way. We're happy to investigate it and look into it more to see if it's a viable thing for us to do in this 60-day period of time. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And remember the roadmap. That's what you're working on, your content plan. Let's get that done this week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.